Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out.
Hi dreamers and make-believers. In today's video I am doing the 21 Pilots book tag, which was originally created by the BookTube girl, and I will link her original tag below.
Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. We're stressed out.
Question 1 is stressed out. What is a book that everyone has been talking about that you have wanted to read for a very long time? For me, that is Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. I have had this on my shelf, I think, for 3 years, possibly more. It seems to have such an incredible plot. It has time travel, it has romance, and it has pirates. And you know how I feel about pirates. You know, the kooky, like Captain Hook, awesome, once upon a time sort of pirates. It seems to have that. There's a family called the Ironwood family who want this girl from like New York present day and take her back to like 1776. And this pirate, Captain Nicholas Carter, is the one that's supposed to like take her to this family, but obviously things happen, I'm guessing romance blossoms, and then they have to save themselves, and she has to get back to her time, I imagine. It sounds like a young adult Outlander, which sounds quite intriguing.
Reminding me of who I killed inside my dream. I hate this car that I'm driving, there's no hiding for me. I'm forced to deal with what I feel. There is no distraction to mask what is real. I can pull the steering wheel. I have these thoughts so often I ought to replace that slot with what I once bought, cause somebody stole my car radio and now I just sit in silence.
Question 2 is car radio. Name a book that you felt you connected to on a personal level. I think that this answer is going to seem so random and weird because obviously it's a fantasy and how could I possibly connect to it on a personal level, but there are just aspects of this book that really spoke to me, which I think is why it is my all-time favorite book since Harry Potter. I felt I had some things in common with Feyre and just her upbringing. I mean, obviously, again, it's fantasy, real life, so not exactly the same, but there were some things that I could relate to in what she was saying, and then of course, just in that magical dream scene where they say to the stars who listen and the dreams that are answered, like honestly, something inside me just like cracked open, and I don't know, it was just like they're speaking to me, or like I am there and I am living this.
I'm bored, so I'm taking my time on my ride. I'm bored.
Question 3 is Ride. Name a book that you never wanted to end. I never wanted Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo to end. Duologies are just not long enough. I mean, she gave us a pretty decent length. It is like 536 pages, and you'd think that would be enough, plus the Six of Crows one, but just no. I could have had so much more of the Crows. I miss them all. I'm excited for the King of Scars coming out, but of course that only has Nina. What about Kaz? What about Inej? What about everybody else? They're just gone from my life after 2 books, and it's just not enough. So this one, I was loving it, I was devouring it, I wanted to see what happened in the end, but at the same time, I didn't want to get to the end.
Surrounding, all my surroundings, sounding down the mountain range of my left side brain. You are surrounding, all my surroundings, twisting the kaleidoscope behind both of my eyes.
Question 4 is Holding On to You. What is a book or a series that you have loved since childhood? Now, this is a tussle between Roald Dahl and Enid Blyton because I remember just absolutely falling into the pages of their books and just being so complete and so happy, and I still love all of their books today, but I think like standing out highlight for me, it is Matilda and The Faraway Tree. So Matilda by Roald Dahl and The Faraway Tree by Enid Blyton. They're just so magical. Like, The Faraway Tree is basically another world inside a tree, and I love other worlds. And then, of course, Matilda is telekinesis and just brilliance and books and just amazingness, and I love Matilda. So I can't decide between those two, but those two have always been a favorite of mine since I was a child, and I could read them again today and still fall madly in love with them and love them as much as I did back then.
Come around to show you how. She's a tear in my heart. I'm alive. She's a tear in my heart. I'm on fire. She's a tear in my heart. Take me higher than I've ever been. The songs on the radio are okay, but my taste in music is your face.
Question 5 is Tear in My Heart. Name a book that made you feel all the feels. I am choosing Morningstar by Pierce Brown for this, which is the 3rd in the Red Rising trilogy. it made me feel all the feels. There are parts where I was genuinely shocked. There was parts where I had to close the book and just move away from it. I was sad, I was happy, I was angry. I had all the emotions reading Morningstar. It's just such a great climatic end to a great, awesome sci-fi series that I don't even know.
I'm very low. I've been around. I've seen the streets you're walking down. I'm very low. Good people now.
Question 6 is fairly local. What is your favorite underground book or series? I don't tend to read many underground books or series, I don't think. I tend to go with what is recommended either by friends or BookTube or book bestseller lists. I mean, these could be old popular books like the classics, they could be new popular books, but chances are they've been fairly popular / highly rated. However, there is one series that again is not underground, but I think deserves more attention than it gets, and that is the Half Bad series by Sally Green. There is apparently a movie being made for this, but that was optioned in 2013, I believe it was, by Fox. I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, how come I haven't heard about this movie? But it still hasn't, like, a release date hasn't been chosen yet. There's no real news on this movie. I imagine it is going to happen one day, but I'm just like, come on, this is one of those series that is amazing, that does deserve like all the hype in the world, and does deserve to have one of those epic franchise movie things made on it. And I've only read the first 2 books so far, but from the first 2 books, I'm sold. So yes, I can't say it's really an underground series because it had massive success when it came out, and the movie deal, and was translated into like a million languages, but I just feel like I don't hear much of it anymore. Question 7. What is a book full of twists and turns that kept you on the edge of your seat? I'm gonna say Legend for this, but actually it was the whole Legend series. Never ever have I done what I did with Legend, which was go from Legend to Prodigy to Champion in like one after the other. Because you know me, I have my TBRs, and I like to take my time with series so that I have more time in the world and get deeper involved in it, and so that I miss the characters and go back and be like, oh hey, it's you again, we have like more adventures. But no, this one I had a TBR, it had Legend, and then it had 2 other unrelated books, and I said, buy unrelated books, and I went to Prodigy, and after Prodigy, buy unrelated books, and I went to Champion, because it was so compelling, and I had to know what was going to happen, and it just had me on the edge of my seat all the way through from the first book to the last book. This series is dynamic.
I'm a goner. Somebody catch my breath. I'm a goner. Somebody catch my breath. I wanna be known by you. I wanna be known by you. I'm a goner.
Question 8 is Goner. Name a book character that you fell in love with from the first second that you met them. For me, that was Kaz Brekker. He is just all kinds of perfect. He is the dark, brooding, confident, suave, strong, brave, amazing type that you just love, and he is consistent in that character throughout this series and just makes you fall more and more in love with him. You get a deeper look into his past, you see more of why he is the way he is. But from the very beginning, when he walks out with his cane, all suave, just like, yeah, we're doing a business deal right now, and he's prepared beyond prepared, and the people think they're prepared, but he's more prepared. He is just...
I've got a migraine, and my pain will range from up, down, and sideways. Thank God it's Friday, cause Fridays will always be better than Sundays, cause Sundays are my suicide days. I don't know why they always seem so dismal. Thunderstorms, cloud, snow, and a slight drizzle. Whether it's the weather or the letters by my bed, sometimes that seems better than the migraine in my head.
Question 9 is Migraine. Name a book that gave you a headache to read. That book for me was Stealing Snow by Danielle Page. I didn't have any strong feelings against this book or for this book, but it gave me a bit of a headache when I was trying to keep track of her motives and what she was doing. I felt like the main character was just a little bit inconsistent, and so, you know, she seemed to be doing something for love, but then she seemed to be falling in love with quite a few people. There's a second book in this series, and I think perhaps that will be more streamlined. We'll get a better idea of where she's coming from, but I remember just in this book, I mean, I didn't not like her, but I just felt like she was not real. I felt like I couldn't connect with her. I didn't know what she was thinking, and everything she did seemed to contradict what she thought. So yeah, it just gave me a bit of a headache.
We don't believe what's on TV, because it's what we want to see. And what we want, we know we can't believe. We have all learned to kill our dreams.
Question 10 is We Don't Believe What's on TV. Name a book or a series that you love that most people seem to hate. I actually couldn't come up with an answer for this. I'm sure there are books out there that I love that most people seem to hate, but I just always tend to if I love a book, I just tend to read the positive reviews and stuff like that, and I don't really check if anyone's like hating on it or anything like that. I'm just like, no, it's beautiful, it's perfect, and I don't care what you have to say. So I don't know, there's probably books that I absolutely love that people don't love, but I don't bother checking if they don't love it. I like getting to see other people's opinions on books that I love, if they love it also, like getting excited and basically fangirling about the same love of same books. So if they don't love the same books, then I'm probably not reading their reviews of the book. So I can't say how many people like it or dislike it. And that is all for the 21 Pilots book tag. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. It was a lot of fun listening to all the songs because I haven't heard them in a long time. And as usual, I tag all of you guys to do it too. And if you like this video, then please consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you like all the other videos I do, then please consider subscribing. And until next time, I'll see you. Bye!